Okay, part two. Let's see if this works any better. I don't know if it's going to be any better. There's not really anything to find uh, for the autofocus that I could find real quickly. Of course, I am not a techie guy, so we're just going to have to deal with this. Um, I don't remember where I was at, but I know where I'm going, so here we go. Yesterday, I had a pretty interesting experience that floored me, and that's not going to be on this video. That's going to be a separate video all of itself. Um, so we're gonna fast forward a little bit. Um, so yesterday, Chuck and I decided to go over and introduce ourselves to the new campers that are here. And as we walk up to them, and start introducing ourselves, Chuck was wearing a squatching T-shirt, and he goes, "Oh, you guys are out here squatching?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and he's really interested in it, and he's actually been up here squatching before with the BFRO, and wasn't really impressed with how they were operating, and and this guy, he's a pretty analytical person. He's an engineer by trade, science trained, and so the stuff that we have going on, he was, not real interested in, you know, in, in the shimmering images and the flashing lights. What the guys? I apologize about this. I don't know what the hell's going on with this. Um, but so but he was willing to listen to what we had to say, and we invited him and his wife over to the camp, and so we sat and we talked with him for a while. There's absolutely no reason this camera should be doing this. Let it go. Let it go. So they came over and we talked for a while, and he was trying to come up with the scientific explanation for what we think we're experiencing, and how this other stuff can't be possible, and I graciously corrected him on it, how yes, it is absolutely possible, and if you want to talk about the scientific method with it, you know that's fine. We'll talk about the scientific method, even though the scientific method doesn't work for everything, i.e., empathy. Uh, let the traditional scientific method explain things like empathy and intuition and spirituality, and so neither. Let me say this is that neither one of us were rude to each other. We were just discussing our points on it, and we invited them to if they were interested to come do the night sit with us, and they accepted. And the other interesting part I forgot to mention is they have a foreign exchange student with them from China who's working on a college degree, and so this was all super new to him. But he was a good guy, and I'm glad he was able to come out here and and experience the wilderness, and a little bit of the squatching episodes. But last night was phenomenal. Um, we we started our night sit without this other couple, so it was just Rob, Chuck, and myself, and we were immediately getting action. I had seen a few twinkle lights around, um, and I definitely had saw a shimmering image, and then I saw um, not a shimmering image, but I saw a mass move by real fast, probably about 50 feet away, And and then Chuck starts asking me, can I see a shimmering, or do I see any distortion next to him? And yes, I was able to see it, and we were all seeing these distortions, and and they were moving around. But when I said that I saw the one that was next to Chuck, I got hit with a pretty good zap, and then Chuck was getting zapped, and there was just so much going on. It's going to be impossible for me to get it all, but I'm going to try and get the big parts of it. Um, I'd got zapped again, um, and I was explaining something. I don't remember what it was, and they said, "Oh, here come the other campers." As they came up and sat down, and we started talking, and they weren't there 5 minutes, and I got nailed. I got nailed hard. Um, I got pinned to my chair. I couldn't move my arms, couldn't move my legs. It was real tight in the chest. Um, and so I'm explaining to them what's going on. And lo and behold, the wife of this couple, she was kind of sitting next to me. There was a table in between us, and I think I seen something, but I don't know what I'm seeing. And I said, well, can you explain it to me? And there's a distortion over there, but it's not still. It's like moving from left to right, and it's moving really fast. And then all of a sudden, she starts feeling on the left side of her face a light tingle. She's got a couple pretty heavy medical issues, causing pain for her, and that's why I got to back up. Uh, Before this had happened, so I don't know. I guess maybe they've been there about 15 minutes. Um, Chuck was talking to the forest people and asking them that, if they could, if they could reach out to her and try and give her a little comfort and maybe a little healing, and yes, they do have that ability. And so anyway, back to she was feeling the tingle down her face and down the whole left side of her body, and she has never in her life ever experienced anything like that. And then she had actually said that she had seen a twinkle light, and which was pretty cool because Rob got to see his first twinkle light, somewhere around this time, so check that one off the box. Yep, twinkle lights are real, and but there was just a lot going on all around us, and then the wife of this guy says, I have never felt like this before. I have this peaceful, calm feeling that just washed over me from head to toe. And I said something to the effect of, are you okay with it? And she goes, oh yes, this is good. And so here's her husband, who's this scientific minded engineer, that now he's sitting there trying to figure out how in the world his wife could be experiencing this when it's not possible. So maybe it's a power of suggestion thing. This is something she's feeling all on her own, and he actually had seen movement and uh, a couple of twinkle lights, but he was trying to write it off as something else, some trick of the eyeball. No, not a trick of the eyeball. What you're experiencing right now is a trick of the mind because you're trying to tell yourself you're not seeing what you're seeing. Um, so it was just a really, really intense night. Um, there's so much more I know I'm forgetting about. Um, it's hard to keep track of what everybody's experiencing and what everybody's feeling and what everybody's seeing. Especially when there's as many out there with us as what there was. So there were 6 of us sitting out there, and everybody, and I'm telling you, everybody was experiencing some things that you can't explain by natural process. So the community calls it the woo, and I object to that term, but that's the term they use, and so so be it. Um, I don't know what I just heard, other than bird up in the tree above me, but no, I heard something back off that way. Oh, so and anyhow, it's at anyhow's it. I asked Rob if he wanted to come on video and just give a brief rundown of what he got to experience, and he politely declined. He's 48 hours into this, and wants to make sure that when he's saying something, he knows what he's saying, um, or something like that. Um, and that's absolutely fine. Um, you know, it's you want to be sure of yourself when you're going on to public domain, and it's not that he's sure of himself. It's just he wants to have the right words, I guess is the way I should put it. And so maybe our next trip out, and there will be a next trip out. You know, he'll be more willing to to come onto camera and talk about what he's experienced, and he's right at the opening of the cave. He's coming out of the cave, um, and maybe I should explain the cave. Um, if you have not heard of, or you have not read or done anything on, it's called the Allegory of the Cave, or otherwise known as Plato's Cave. Um, I highly suggest everybody study that, yeah, because that really comes into play with what's going on here. Um, but yeah, so I'm out here by myself now. I'm pretty sure activity is gonna be interesting tonight, being it's just me. We'll see what happens. So I'm gonna sign off with this, and I'm gonna get my thoughts together so I can put this video together for what I experienced yesterday. So excuse me. Thanks, guys. Peace out.